Rockstars, Eric Andreas, your guitar sage here. Friends, are you frustrated with your guitar playing? Would you like to become better, go further, faster on the guitar? Or are you one of those guitar players who have been playing for years, possibly even decades, but you stopped growing ages ago? My friends, if you answered yes to any of these, you're in the right place, because today I'm going to be talking to you about the biggest challenges that all guitarists go through and how to overcome them. Stick around. My friends, if you are new to watching my videos, then thank you so much and welcome. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to be notified of all the great videos that we're doing here, and also to be notified of the great giveaways. Thousands of dollars worth of great goodies that we're giving away every single month. All right, let's get to that lesson. All right, the biggest challenges that all guitarists go through and how to overcome them. Now, why is this important and how do I know about it? Well, number one, it's very important to know, because if we can identify these things, and this is all of us, there's nobody who does not go through these, okay? If we can identify what they are, then we can fix them. If we can't identify it, then we don't know what's going on, right? Now, how do I know about these things? Well, because I've taught thousands of lessons over the decades, one-on-one lessons, obviously video lessons and that sort of thing. And getting information, getting comments from folks out there. It's the same thing over and over again. We're all very similar and we all get the same frustrations. And if we go about things the wrong way, then we're going to get very frustrated. We're going to get upset. We're going to think that we're not cut out for guitar, etc., etc. So that's why this is important. That's how I know, okay? So I'm going to be reading a little bit here because these are the three things and I don't want to miss anything. So pardon me for reading, because I really want to make sure, because I took meticulous notes on this, I want to get this point across to you because it's going to save you. It's going to help you a ton, okay? There are three big things that I think everybody goes through, and we're going to be talking about how to overcome them. Number one, no direction or system to follow. An example would be jumping around on YouTube without any sort of direction, getting confused and frustrated because one guy says one thing, somebody else says something else, and then you're hitting different levels. Maybe something's too easy and then something's too hard. You're not doing any sort of step-by-step, right? Haven't taken the time to define what it is that you actually want. So one person says, you need the cage system. Somebody else says, you need the pentatonic. Somebody else says, you should learn scales 3 notes per string. And you're like, I don't know what to do, right? Because you don't know what it is that you actually want. You don't even know, folks don't even know that they're learning things out of order, and that if they learn things in order, that it would solidify their success. I'm just spitting these out really quickly because we're going to go in more in detail. Okay, number 2 is high desire, low motivation. Their why is not defined. They're not practicing in a way that they can feel momentum, and they believe in myths. Okay, and when I mention some of these myths, you're going to be like, well, that's true. It's because you believe in the myths. Everybody does. So many people do. It takes some time to get over them. And number 3 is can't seem to break through their plateau. And I've said this is a perceived plateau. This is just a mental game, and we're going to talk about self-talk and beliefs and how to undo that. There's no plan. They don't know how to break things down, slow it down into doable pieces. So instead of it being this insurmountable mountain to scale, they just need to take a first step. Okay, so let's talk about it. Number 1, no direction or system to follow. Okay, what happens a lot of times is a highly motivated guitarist will search any place that they can, books, tablatures, friends, doesn't matter. You just get that information and you go. And that's great, okay? That is highly commendable to do that. But what happens is, it's a dual-edged sword, because what happens is a lot of times you're getting this information and then you might get something in the wrong order. And what I mean by the wrong order is, this is even for professionals, okay? I've been playing guitar for a long time, and I find still if I'm learning stuff in the wrong order, I don't learn it as quickly. It's not sticking. Sometimes I don't get it with different subjects, but even guitar still 30-something years later. So this is for professionals as well. If you're not learning things in the right order, if you're jumping around here and there, you're not going to know what it is that you're missing, okay? Not having taken the time to define what it is that you actually want, this is also very important. This is going to help with the direction and some sort of system to follow, okay? So let's talk about that for a moment. Not having taken the time to define what it is that you actually want, okay? When I moved to Nashville, I'd been playing guitar for only, 4 or 5 years, something like that. No, longer than that, 6, 7 years. Well, when I moved to Nashville, I said I wanted to be a studio guitar player, and I wanted to be very diverse in all the different things that I could play. I wanted to be a classical guitar player, rock, blues, country. I wanted to be able to play many different things, okay? And that was my goal. My goals have changed many times over the years, from wanting to play on stage to wanting to play in the studio to wanting to teach. And so that why and understanding what it is that I wanted to get out of guitar was so important, because as that changed, then my direction changed, the things that I spent my time on. If you're not defining this, then you're going to be wasting lots and lots of time. People think, well, I'm just going to shortcut that. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just going to keep my head down and practice. If you're doing that, then what happens is you're going to be practicing all sorts of things that you don't really need to practice, because at the end of the day, it's not getting you closer to your goal. So being very defined in what it is that you want to get out of the instrument is number one. Okay, I want to be a live guitar player. I want to play live. That's all I want to do. I just want to play in rock bands. Good. That's definition. I want to be a studio player. Okay, cool. Where? What do those studio players need to know if you're going to be part of that group? Okay, man, I just want to play campfire guitar. I just want to know open chords, and I want to know Horse with No Name, and I want a good repertoire of songs. Perfect goal. We need to know what it is, and we need to define it. Writing stuff down and building that definition more and more is going to get you there, because this way you're not just bebopping around all over the place with no direction. Also, having some sort of system to follow. If you're not in my free system, the YourGuitarSage.com/30, link for that's in the description of the video, then be in somebody's course that's step by step. Maybe it's not me. Maybe you don't like the way that I teach. Maybe you like somebody else, okay? Then follow them, but follow something of somebody who's gone before you, and they can pave a path. There's no need in you beating a new path to becoming a better guitar player when tons of people have done it before you, and they can help you get there much quicker, okay? So do that. But the other thing you got to do is make sure that you're defining what it is that you want to do. If you want to play great classical guitar and you love the way that I teach, I'm still probably not your guy, because even though I took 3 years of classical guitar in college, that's not what I teach, okay? So find somebody that does that. You define it, what it is that you want to do, follow a system, a book, an online course, something that's going to get you there quicker. And then when you're done with that, go to another one that's in what it is that you're looking for. Okay? So the two takeaways from that: define what it is that you want, and then get in some sort of system, follow some sort of regimen. It's going to get you to where you want to get to much quicker. Cool? Well, number one is down. Number two, high desire, low motivation. Okay? So what I mean by this is, you know, anyone can say, I want to rule the world. I want to be the best guitar player in the world. That's so easy to say. I just did it, right? Big deal. I don't have to prove anything. It's all ego, right? So this high desire, low motivation is when people say, I want to do this, and they set this big lofty goal. Now, I'm all for setting big lofty goals, but I'm definitely not for setting big lofty goals so you can just fail, because that changes a part of your character that you don't want to change. I would rather see someone hit smaller goals and build up to higher goals, because what that's going to do is that's going to build motivation. That's going to build momentum, because you're proving to yourself that you're capable of doing so. So setting just some big lofty goal without a plan or anything else is there's no reward for that, okay? So why does this happen? A lot of times it happens because the person's why is not defined enough. We'll talk about that some more, as we did already. Not practicing in a way that you can feel momentum, and oftentimes they believe in myths. So let's talk about those three. So the why is not defined. Again, if you don't know exactly what it is that you want to do, then you're going to end up focusing on things that you just don't need to do. At this point in my life, I love pouring my heart out to other people and giving it to them and showing them, hey, you can do this, okay? I don't have aspirations for playing on some big stage or anything like that. Not that people are knocking down my door. I'm a guitar teacher at this point, right? But nonetheless, I know what it is that I want to do. And knowing what it is that I want to do, I wake up in the morning and I have those things that I want to do. I'm not wasting my time focusing on other things that are outside of my scope of my desire. So having that why is absolutely so important. Not practicing in a way that you can feel some sort of momentum is also a kiss of death a lot of times for players, because they're not doing things in order, because they're not feeling the momentum. Like maybe they're going from step 2 to step 5 because they can, and they can feel, oh wow, look at that, I jumped that much further. They're not getting those small wins along the way that help, okay? Not only are you further making your foundation firmer, but you are also self-motivating yourself by going, boom, I got number 2 down, boom, got number 3 down, boom, number 4 down, now I'm on 5. And just going through the motions of those steps, I promise you are going to help you. They're going to help motivate you because you're going to feel that forward momentum. Okay, and the last one here of number 2 is believing in myths. So people believe things like, and when they get frustrated, this is a lot of times when they start leaning on this, because instead of being that guy who gave up on guitar, which guitar never defeated anybody, it was somebody who quit. Okay, let me just say that. Hate to be the bearer of the truth, but it's true. Guitar never beat anybody. Guitar is an inanimate object. It's there for your pleasure. Play it. But whenever someone stops playing guitar, it's not that the chords beat them or something. It's that they quit. They stopped because their momentum, they didn't have that, okay? And a lot of times that's when people start believing in myths, like, well, I was never born into a musical family anyhow, or I started too late, or my fingers are too fat, or my fingers are too short, or this, that, or the other thing. I have arthritis. A billion other excuses. I have arthritis. I had arthritis as well. And I had all the million other excuses as well. You can use that if that makes you feel better, but I don't think you're the kind of person, if you've made it to this part in the video here, that you're that kind of person. You're looking for the answers to get to the next level. Don't believe in the myths. I talk about some of these myths in some of my other videos inside my free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30, etc., etc. Number 3 is can't seem to break through their plateau. Okay, now, first off, this is a psychological plateau. This is a plateau that really does not exist, okay? If you've ever heard me talk about Richard Bannister, who was a runner who said, I'm going to break the 4-minute mile. Well, up until Richard Bannister ran this 4-minute mile, it was never recorded that anybody had run this. They said if you ran a 4-minute mile, your heart would explode. It's physically not capable. Humans are not capable of running that fast. You're going to die before then. It was this perceived plateau. Well, this guy said, of course I can do this. He kept envisioning this in his mind that he was going to do it. People say that's poppycock. He kept doing that, and guess what? He ran a 4-minute mile. And guess what happened that same year? Right after he ran that 4-minute mile, so did a bunch of other guys. Now, why did those guys do it right after him and not before him? Because it was possible all that time. It was this perceived plateau, or this perceived place that they couldn't get beyond. Richard Bannister knew in the power of his mind that he could say, no, that's possible. These are just lies, myths that people are buying into, and I can do this. Once he did that, everybody else saw him and said, well, if he can do it, I can do it. It is possible. So just that mere belief made people go out and then run the 4-minute mile. So understand that your plateau is really not a plateau at all. It is a perceived plateau because of self-talk and because of beliefs, things that you're saying. You got to watch yourself, what you're saying when you're playing. You have to watch the belief systems, okay? Because you can talk yourself out of greatness. Okay, not having a plan. If you don't have a plan, a step-by-step plan, I talk about it in every single one of these, because if you don't have that, then you're not going to see the progress. You can't quantify anything. If I'm going to the gym and I'm just grabbing weights and lifting them in every which way possible, and I'm not keeping up with a 20-pound weight or a 10 or a 5, then how would I even know that I'm getting stronger, right? I would have to just physically remember everything. So, but if I go to the gym and I can bench 185, and then the next week I go back and now I'm benching 190, and I see, wow, 185 last week, 190 this week, great, I'm on my way up. Next week it's 200. We're moving up, okay? Similarly, you've got to, in some way, have a plan. Either you're following somebody else's plan or you have your own plan. What I used to do is I'd say, I'm going to practice scales for 30 minutes. I'd practice theory for 30 minutes, improvisation for 30 minutes, or whatever. Set my own plan. Do that for yourself. Curtail it specifically to what it is that your why is and what it is that you want to get out of the guitar. Okay? So having no plan, definitely gonna keep you stuck. And don't know how to break things down into doable pieces. This is a very, very important piece. I teach this in many of my videos inside the Unstoppable Guitar System. It's understanding how to break things down. We can take anything and break it down to assets, to smaller pieces, to doable chunks that will allow us to feel, again, that momentum. These three things sound the same. They're not, but they're similar, right? We've got to feel that momentum going. And if we just look at an entire song, if we look at Classical Gas, I'm going to learn that song, and you just listen to it one time through and you're like, well, there's no way I can do that. Well, you're right. And the other person who says, I can do this, yes, they're right, because whatever it is that you say to yourself, that self-talk is going to pave that way. If you say there's no way, that's too big, you won't do it. You won't try to break it down because you're thinking about the whole thing. The other person who says, yeah, I can do this, you're going to find a way. What can I do? I could slow it down, cool. I don't have to learn the whole thing. Maybe I'll just learn this A section first. Great, you're on your way to breaking things down. Now in this A section, there's these 8 measures. Maybe I can just look at the first measure. Perfect, you're breaking things down. I really can't play that one measure still. It's too fast. Okay, how about slowing it down? So being able to have the ability, and trust me, I can say this with my mouth, and then you go off and not do it, because I do the same thing. I've done it. You've got to ingrain these habits into yourself, or they're not going to stick. Okay, so you must say to yourself, okay, how can I break this down? How can I slow this thing down? And by doing that, you'll take chunks, measures, sections of songs, putting them together. Now all of a sudden you can scale a mountain one step at a time instead of just saying, I need to jump over this mountain. Does that make sense? My friends, these are 3 things that all guitarists experience. They've got to overcome them, and I've shown you the way that you can overcome this. This is the way to do it, my friends. And that is the lesson, my friends. Did you enjoy this video? Friends, if you did, please smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave your comments below. Let me know what it is that you liked about this video, because I want to make these videos better for you. I'm trying to get as much information, as much quality information to you as possible so that I can get you to the next level. I know what guitar playing did for me. I know what it does for me still. It's a beautiful solace, a meditation, and it absolutely has done wonders in my life for so many reasons, and I want to give that same gift to other people. So let me know how I can help. You can do that by leaving your comment below. Friends, I'm also on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and all those places where the kids hang out. We do lots of different stuff in those locations that we don't do here on YouTube. So please hit us up there. We give away thousands of dollars worth of guitars, lifetime memberships to the Unstoppable Guitar System. In fact, this guitar is going away this week, and so is this one. Nice gold top and a nice Robert Cray Stratocaster. I'm giving stuff away all the time. I want you to be part of it. In order to do that, hit us up on those social media bits, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'm here for you guys, my friends. I really am. I've dedicated my life to helping other people succeed on the guitar. So take advantage of that. That's what I'm here for. I have a lifetime membership to the Unstoppable Guitar System. If you want to get into that, you could try it out. YourGuitarSage.com/1, or I have a whole free program for you, YourGuitarSage.com/30. I'll make sure to put those links in the description of this video so you can check all that stuff out. My friends, I'm Eric Andreas, your Guitar Sage here. As always, be kind to all beings. Do the right thing. Always. Practice your guitar. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, I'm not even on 3 here. Damn it. I'm still on number 2. I didn't even get to number 3 yet, did I? I think we're just talking about mitts. I can't believe I got to do all this over again. It's a long video.